A long-time federal program offering young people a second chance through job training is now on the chopping block. The government plans to shut down Job Corps centers nationwide, and some local students and graduates are speaking out. CBS News Philadelphia's Eva Anderson has their story.
Before joining Job Corps, 17-year-old Sincere Shaw says his future was uncertain.
I didn't know what I was going to do. I was skipping class. I didn't want to go walk in the halls. I didn't want to go here.
Then a saving grace. He was accepted into the carpentry track of the Job Corps program. The federally funded initiative, established in the 1960s, offers teens and young adults a path to a diploma with hands-on job training. Everything from plumbing to CNA work. Just months from graduation, he says he was thriving.
I just felt like it's a big difference for me, and I really love it there, and I hope it don't change.
But recently, everything changed. His program email, payment card, and account access were all deactivated without explanation.
To wake up one day and no more Job Corps is like really bad. I don't want my son to return back to these streets for no reason.
The U.S. Department of Labor says all Job Corps centers will close by June 30th, citing serious safety incidents, high costs, and a graduation rate of just under 39%. Officials say they'll help current students transition, but families say they feel left behind.
All right. I know you done heard about it. Let's go with it. Those cruel suckers from the Trump administration, they done closed down the Job Corps. See, let me tell you a story. Back in the day, when in the projects, when you were growing up, you ain't had nothing but your mama did, but your mama had to go to work. Your daddy's missing. Daddy's missing in action. Daddy's in jail, daddy's a drunk, daddy's on drugs, whatever. You knew you could depend on mama. But mama trying to raise boys, and boys get into trouble. That was me. That was me back in the day. Look, my mother would leave the house. She'd tell everybody, look, don't leave this apartment. Soon as she leave, guess what? She said not to go out the front door, not out the window. I go out the window, shimmy down the drain pipe, and I'm having fun. And before my mother gets home, I climb back up the pipe through the window. And I tell my sisters, you better not tell on me. That was how all my trouble started. So the ice cream truck would come. Guess what? We throw rocks at him and break the glass out on the man's truck. Then we get caught. You get a whooping because they come and tell on you to catch one of y'all. They always catch me. We go to the local junior high school or high school. We ain't got nothing to do, but we having fun. We're going to break in and see what we can get out of there. We're going to steal stuff. But this is the idle mind. The idle mind we going to play until we can't play no more. So here we go. We climb, you give each other a boost to get up on the roof. Then there's another part of the roof that everybody climbs up. You climb on this board. You get on the board and you kind of like teeter and then pull yourself up. Now on the way down, I'm always the shortest one. On the way down, everybody makes it down but me. I'm the last one. Guess what? I go to get on that board, but my feet can't touch it. And I get one foot on it, and all of a sudden, I drop down on the board, right on the old nutsack. Ah! But beknownst to me, I've ruptured something. Because when I get home, guess what? I can't piss. So now I'm really in trouble because I'm not supposed to be out of the house. So mom gets home late at night, and now this happened about 7, 8 o'clock at night. My mother gets home about 6 in the morning, and I gotta tell her, hey, something wrong. I can't pee, and I'm ready to bust. Now I got to go to the hospital. Oh, get an operation, drain me out, fix me up, and a lack of food, and I still get a beating when I get home. So at this point, my mother says, hey, this kid is out of control. I got to call a man to handle him. So during the summer, I can't stay home. I got to go to grandma's house. Grandma and granddad. And grandma is not going to let you go nowhere. You staying in the house, hey, you're not getting in no trouble. I got to be able to see you. And by the end of the summer, when I come home, hey, you heard so-and-so locked up. You heard so-and-so, they jumped him. I missed all the action. I'm over grandma's house, can't do nothing. So they're keeping me out of trouble. And so I'm getting a little older. Now it's time for me to, hey, it's time to go to work. We're gonna get a job skill while you 15, 16. So now here's my other grandfather. He builds houses. You come on over here, and guess what? He won't pick me up. You drive right past the house to go to the job site. Why you won't pick up? No, a man finds his own way to the job site. You get on your bike, you ride over here, and then we're going to go to the job. What? This is what I went through. Just to stay out of trouble. But we don't have anybody to help get the youth out of trouble no more. That's done. Nobody steps up to the plate for that. So I ended up, and then after I worked with my grandfather for a while, he says, hey, I'm going to start paying you. But guess what? This is for you to play with, this little change. And this other one is for your mother, because you're going to start paying rent. Now I'm paying rent at 14. What sense do that make? Which is, I'm saying, when they closed down this Job Corps thing, and that's the only thing that keeps these kids, especially the young men, you going to jail, or you going to Job Corps, or you going to the service. I hate to say it, but most of the people that I saw go to Job Corps was a fuck up. There's no other kind of way. Every one of them, they was on the last leg. You got your 3 strikes, or you going to Job Corps. And Job Corps, when you get up there, you cannot leave without permission because you live up there. Now, the man closed down Job Corps. A whole lot of people that just got up there, they really homeless now. They got nowhere to go because that was the last resort. So they probably down at the recruiter's office now trying to sign up. But what we doing this for? Cruelty? And which I'm saying, somebody was there to help me, but there's nobody there to help them. They kind of on their own. And I'm saying, look, I went through working from the age 14 till by the time I got 16, 17, and I'm still working, part-time and all through the summer. But now, the way my mother preps you for you going to school or you getting a trade, you're going to leave this house. When she knew you started bringing money in, guess what? She handed everybody a bill. Don't be late with your bill. Here, this yours. Oh, you making a little bit more money? Here go 2 bills for you. That's how you start to prep them to get on their way and make their mind up. And my mother said, hey, are you going to be a carpenter like your grandfather? Or you doing something else? I wanted to do something else. So my mother said, hey, my grandfather said, you ain't no college student. You better get a trade. So I got a trade. And after I got the trade, my mother said, look, I'm going to co-sign for you. Just pay it back. Just make sure you pay this bill so it don't come back. So look, I did all that, but these youths today, they ain't getting that. Oh, you getting on the street and you might have to start hustling, Slim, because Job Corps is done. Oh, you better hit that military. You better go on down to that recruiter. Get your man, be all you could be. What are we going to do with all that youth they just released into the street? That's like opening up a prison and say, all right, find your way. What way? Where they going? You're gonna end up in jail because you're going to be laying around somewhere. The man going to say, you got to go. And you going to say, I ain't got nowhere to go. But he said, all right, we got the chain gang for you. We're gonna lock you up and you're going to do work on the street for us. Just to say, a woman has a hard time trying to raise a boy into a man. Because when I was in my last year of school, I was doing terrible. And a lot of my friends, they dropped out. And I came home one day, and so it was the time to go to school. And the next morning, and I said, I ain't going. I'm dropping. I'm done with this. And so my mother says, hey, you sick or something? I hollers, nah, I ain't going to school no more. I'm dropping out. My mother says, no, you not. You better get on up and get on out of here and get to that school. Little know, I ain't want to get up. I'm a man now. So my mother gets the belt and starts wailing on me. But I'm older and strong. I grabbed the belt and she can't swing it no more. She said, all right, I got what you need. Packed my stuff up and started throwing it out the front door. Get out of my house if you're not going to school. Guess what? This is for the days of cell phones, so you couldn't even get to call nobody unless you got to the phone booth. I walked around the block 2 or 3 times. I was thinking who I could call. Can I stay over this guy's house for a night? Can I stay over that? Not even thinking about eating because I'm getting hungry. Guess what? I went on back, got them books, and went to school and finished school. But see, if don't nobody push you and bust that ass, oh, you're going to drop out. And I never forget one thing my grandfather always said. Look, when you start making some money, what I want you to do, I want you to put something away every week. Because you don't never know when you're going to have a bad week. Put something away. Then I want you to put enough money away because I don't want you to ever rent. Don't ever rent. Only buy. And I remember that, putting the money away. He said, look, the first house you get a small house. That way, if any financial things come along, you still got enough money to pay the house note. The first house I had, the house note, I think, was about $650 a month. I could miss a note all out. I could not get paid and still have some savings to go pay that mortgage because it was cheap. Only after you got enough do you move up to the second house. And it's true. Never rented a day in my life. I don't know what it's like. I do not know what it's like. What I think is about to happen with the Trump administration, they want everybody back in the projects and do a total reset and make the minimum wage about $4 an hour. Because see, $4 an hour going to be better than nothing. Ain't going to be no more we starting out at $15, $19 an hour. Ain't going to be no $8, $8.50 minimum wage. It ain't going to be that. Because he breaking it down. It's going to be so many people sleeping on the street. And these people already were kind of totally lost when they had to go to Job Corps. And this new youth is coming up every day. And ain't nobody showing them nothing. Daddy gone. Daddy missing. He missing in action. Look, just ask Chuck. And I'm going to tell you, like, subscribe, and share, and let me know what you think needs to be done. Because, see, I got mine. I learned hard lessons. I'm out.